Let's also take a look at Paul on the road to Damascus, which is all about transformation and the transformation that can come with God's love. So we find this story in Acts chapter 9, verses 1 through 22, and it's one of the most dramatic examples of God's transformative love, because Paul does a major shift. So before encountering Jesus, Paul, who was then called Saul, was actually a Pharisee who persecuted Christians. And he was having Christians put to death. While traveling to Damascus in order to arrest believers, a bright light suddenly surrounded him, and he heard the voice of Jesus asking, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" Blinded and overwhelmed, Paul obeyed Jesus' instruction to go into the city and wait. 3 days later, a man named Ananias followed God's command and prayed for Paul, and his sight was restored. From that moment, Paul's life completely changed. He went from being a persecutor of Christians to one of the most influential apostles, spreading the gospel across the world. In fact, a vast majority of the New Testament, or a lot of the New Testament, is written by this very person. So Paul's story shows us that no one is beyond God's reach. If you have loved ones who are far from faith, do not lose hope. Pray for them consistently and trust God can work in their lives in ways you can't even imagine. Also, as moms, we all have areas where we want to improve, whether it's being more patient, more present, or stronger in our faith. Just as Paul surrendered to God's call, we too can let him lead us through changes, both big and small. Start by praying for his guidance in the areas where you feel stuck or where you need growth. And finally, Paul did not hesitate to follow Jesus' instructions, even when it was scary and unclear. When you feel prompted by God, whether it's to encourage someone, serve your family differently, or let go of something weighing you down, trust his plan and take that step in faith, just like Paul did. Be encouraged today, mamas. Paul's life reminds us that God's love does not just forgive, it transforms. You're not defined by your past mistakes, your bad days, or the times you've fallen short as a mom. God's love sees your potential and works to shape you into someone who reflects his grace and his goodness. When you feel overwhelmed by guilt or inadequacy, remember Paul's story. If God can take someone like Saul, who actively fought against him, and turn him into one of the most impactful figures in Christianity, imagine what he can do in your life. Lean into God's love and let it renew your heart and mind. With his guidance, you can become the mom, wife, and woman he created you to be. I promise that you can. So today, just take a deep breath, trust in his power to work through you, and know that your story is still being written. So